Now, we talked about Netflix and what Amazon does in the movie world, but there's a very interesting company. Who has used MUBI? Sometimes not the most expensive films are the best films. Ellie, please come on stage and present MUBI. You raised a lot of money, I know, because you couldn't come to a few conferences because you were always fundraising. How much did you raise now?
Not that much. 25 million total.
Ah, that's quite a lot. Thank you so much.
Good to see you. Thanks. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Cakarel. I'm the founder of MUBI. I saw a lot of hands up. A lot of you know what we do, but just to introduce MUBI, we are a streaming platform that focuses on movies. It's a curated platform. It's a subscription-based platform. Costs $9.99 a month. We don't have any free tiers or any other model. We also have this service called MUBI Go in UK. Every week we choose one film in cinemas, and our members can actually go and watch that film in any cinema for free. And that has been an incredible growth area for us. We also have, it's also a social network movie. So every film you can go, you can watch a trailer, become a fan of, rate, discuss, share. And there's more than 9 million people who are active on that platform right now. And that is our community. So what is the problem we are solving? I mean, think about your own Netflix experience, right? And how frustrating it is for you to find a single movie that you want to watch. That is a problem. It's called paradox of choice. It's a well-known human psychological trait. We are overwhelmed by choice. And that is increasingly a really big problem with all the streaming services out there. And the solution is, instead of offering thousands of films, we just give you one film a day, right? And each film stays for 30 days. So there is always 30 films you can watch. Every day one film comes, one film goes out. So it's a constantly rotating library of amazing 30 films. And that worked really well, because if you want to survive in the streaming business, we feel like you need a very clear differentiation to Netflix, right? And this is our differentiation. It's a curated platform. So you have your Netflix, but if you're really into movies, then you need something like MUBI. So we are a specialized streaming service. Why now? Because people are increasingly taking up multiple subscription services. In US, at the moment, more than 50% of households have at least 2 subscription services that they have. Right? And it used to be only about 20% just 4 years ago. So this is really increasing a lot. The market potential, of course, is huge. Whatever you do, if there are any entrepreneurs in the room, choose a market that is growing and growing fast. And the streaming business, the shift in the consumer experience have been really dramatic over the past decade or so, but really the past 5 years. And this business is going to continue to grow, as you can see here. The business that I'm in last year was $36 billion. It's going to be 87 in just a couple of years. Right? Competition is tough. This is a business that is going to get even more fragmented in coming years, with Disney now coming into the foray, in addition to Netflix and Amazon. HBO just announced their plans to launch early next year. We don't know what NBC Universal is going to be doing, but they are working on something. We expect them to announce and launch next year. So the studios going direct to the consumers will mean that there's going to be all these subscription services that you can get your scale entertainment. But everybody is doing exactly the same thing, which is as much content as possible, as big content as possible, and shifting mostly towards TV content, which is the opportunity for such a specialized movie-focused platform like us. Our business model is unique, right? Because we show only 365 movies a year. That means our content cost is significantly lower than our competition. And we are licensing only 30-day windows. So say instead of spending $200 million a year in a place like UK to have a Netflix-like library of movies, I need to spend a couple of $1 million a year, and I can give you one big, great film after another and stand next to a platform like Netflix, right? So we spend about $19 per subscriber. Netflix spends 90. Amazon and Hulu are even less efficient, right? So that is a key differentiation for us. And we also spend a lot less on our technology as well. So our gross profit margin, which is really key, figure that I know I focus on, is more than 60%, whereas it's about 30s in Netflix and about 20s in a similar model in music with Spotify. And those are amazing businesses. Right? The content, we've been in this business for more than a decade now. It took a long time to do these deals, but we now have deals with all the major film studios, all the important distributors in all the key territories that we focus on. Anyone from NBC Universal to Pathé to Curzon to Icon. I mean, by now, we have them all. We have more than 650 deals with distributors and studios around the world, from US to Argentina, to India. And of course, we are now getting more ambitious. We are getting into production. This is important. I think in the streaming business, in order to have a clear long-term differentiation, you have to figure out your originals and your content strategy. You need to be producing your own content. I'll give you an example, a very important example why. I explained already how this business is going to be more fragmented with all these right owners also going direct to consumer. Last year, one of my favorite films was The Favorite. MUBI will never be able to show that film on our platform, no matter how much money we put on the table. And so is Netflix. No matter how much Netflix pays, they will never be able to show that film. And the reason for that is the studio that distributed that film, Fox, that is owned by Disney, will not license that film to anybody else. So if you want to show Yorgos Lanthimos' next film, this is the director who made that film, you have to produce it. So that's where MUBI really needs to go over the next 5 to 10 years. And this is achievable. Those films, the budgets of those films are around $20 million. So it's not insane. So we started to get into this business. We set up our production arm. Our very first film, Port Authority, with Martin Scorsese as our exec producer, was in Cannes this year. Doing really well. We have 2 other films in post-production, 3 films in development. So you're going to start seeing the MUBI ident and logo before films. In London Film Festival, if you went, we had 5 films in the London Film Festival. So that's definitely a key core strategy for MUBI. I'm not going to spend much time on it, but technology, I mean, we developed everything in-house. My background is computer science. I'm obsessed with product. I still, to this day, spend more of my time than any other part of the business on the product and the user experience. You take care of the user experience, and everything else sort of falls into its place, is how I think. Yeah, we are in multiple different languages, 19 different languages. We accept currencies in 17 different countries, and so on and so on. And we built all this stuff in-house. We even built our own CDN. That's crazy. Who does that? We built our own streaming servers. We provision our servers whenever we go anywhere. I talked about our community a little bit. There's millions of people participating in this. Actually teaches us a lot about what kind of films people would like to watch where. So we are actually armed with a lot of data that we mine to statistically suggest what kind of films people would like to watch where. And then we bring our also human element in deciding that. But data really drives a lot of our decision making. Well, this is important. The business is doing well. I mean, it took a long time to start taking off. The first 8 years of MUBI was very difficult. Because as an entrepreneur, you do what is expected from you, which is you focus on growth. And you focus on growing the top-line metrics and user engagement metrics, and you don't really have your eye on the financials. And that is that I think is a mistake, because the number one rule of business is not growth. The number one rule of business is to stay in business, right? So after a near-death experience 4 or 5 years ago, we really started to focus on cash flow. and we budget everything yearly, quarterly. We go, cash flow numbers on my desk within 5 days after the month in all our companies. I mean, you would think that we are running Time Warner, but that's the way to do it. So our revenue is growing more than 70% year on year the past few years. We are cash flow positive, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. These are paid subscribers, double-digit million in revenues. So this is really great. And to be cash flow positive is actually an amazing feeling. We became cash flow positive last year, and since then, we think more strategically, longer term, and we are making bigger long-term investment decisions rather than reacting or spending all our time trying to raise capital. Of course, I want to raise more capital, but now it's great because it's now growth capital. It's really putting a lot of money to put more fuel into the fire. I'll very quickly go through because I'm almost out of money, out of time. I talked a lot about money, I think. Geographical expansion. India is our next big country. We are launching there later next month. It is the most fascinating place that I've been spending time in years. And you should expect to hear more from us in those territories. US and UK are traditionally our big core markets, but we're going to start spending more time in Asia. And thank you very much for your time. Thank you.